Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt with OddsJam. In today's video, I will be going over some of the early lines for the NFL playoff games. I'm not going to be getting too much matchup specific or team specific. That's going to come in later videos. The goal of today is to identify some early lines, see where I think lines might change, and see if we can beat some closing line and get some positive closing line value. So what I like to do early in the week is generally follow where the money is, because that's generally bets this week are generally made by the sharps, and those will influence the lines the most. So what I like to do, like I said, is just follow where the money is. So I'm going to go game by game. I'm going to look at where the largest percent of money is based on the spread in the over-under. And then I'm going to end looking at the OddsJam positive EV page to see if there are any positive expected value bets. And then at the very end, I'll have a screenshot for everything that I end up placing because, like I said, I love getting on some early lines because it's the easiest way to beat the closing line. That was my strategy for the Chargers. Obviously, that bet did not win, but the goal is to beat closing line as often as possible. And if you can do that, then that's how you can be profitable. So starting off with this Bills-Patriots game I have on the separate tab here. So right off the bat, it looks like there's no positive expected value for the Bills. Their OddsJam Perfect Line has them at minus 195 and the Patriots at plus 171. And there is some positive expected value on the Patriots at plus 180 on FanDuel. But personally, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching the money line, at least. I think I will have a play on the spread. I'm going to end up putting some, I would guess, on the spread. So as of right now, it looks like the Patriots are about plus 4.5, depending on what book you look at. So the OddsJam Perfect Line has the Bills minus 4 at minus 105, where the Patriots plus 4 at also at minus 105. Minus 106. So there's some positive expected value with them at minus 105. The guess here, if I could just adjust my mic a little bit, is that I don't really think that the line is going to adjust too aggressively one way or another. It looks like right now the Bills are getting about 51% of the ticket percentage and about 89% of the money. So despite that the OddsJam Perfect Line being more favored towards the Patriots, it looks like the money is coming in on the Bills. So if there was a play, it would probably be on the Patriots plus 4.5. You can get them at minus 110 on BetMGM and WinBet. But for me personally, I'm not a huge fan of that bet. I think that, the Bills, I know I said I won't get too much matchup specific, so I'll try to keep it a little bit concise. But it's just hard to trust both the Bills nor the Patriots. Patriots just got blown out by the Dolphins. They looked, the end score ended up not looking as bad as the game went, but just a poor showing from the Patriots. And then the Bills, almost the opposite situation, where the final score looked like they blew the Jets out, but they really struggled, and it was a 3-point game well into the third quarter. So originally I thought I might have a play on the Bills because, I do think that if I were to guess, I do think that the Bills probably cover, but just based on where the action is coming in, it looks like the Bills are getting more of the money, but the Patriots are the positive expected value. So for me, that's kind of just a no touch. So if we're looking at the over-under, let's see here. So it looks like as of right now, the total is settling between 42.5 and 43.5. It looks like pretty consistently the sharp play, the OddsJam Perfect Line, is trending towards the under. And then again, that is both on WinBet and BetMGM. Looking at the game itself, it looks like the under is also getting much more of the money as well. So it looks like it's getting 52% of the ticket percentage, 89% of the money. So to me, that does signify that there is a play there, because I generally like to bet if the sharps and the money agrees. That to me, that signifies there's a play. So it looks like the highest difference between the OddsJam Perfect Line and what you're getting at is this under 44. Looks like that's minus 115 on BetMGM. So that actually is going to be a play for me. I'm going to go ahead and put 50 on the under 44. My guess is that the total as of right now, it sits at 40, like I said, 42.5, 43.5. I bought a couple points to get it from minus 127 to minus 115. My guess is that the total is going to end a little bit closer to 41, 41.5, and getting that extra point can be huge. So as far as the Bills Patriots game, that's going to be my one play is, as of right now, is just the under 44. So next, looking at the Bengals and the Raiders. So as you can see, this is a situation where it looks like both teams have some positive expected value with more on the Bengals. So right now the OddsJam Perfect Line has them at minus 261 and the Raiders at plus 225 with some positive EV if you're looking at the minus 250 on DraftKings, plus 230 on PointsBet. As far as where the money goes, it looks like the Raiders are actually getting a higher percentage of the bets, but the Bengals are getting a higher percent of the money. So the Raiders are getting 55% of the bets, just percentage-wise, but the Bengals are getting a higher percent of the money, and this is on the spread. So let's see where the spread lies. So it looks like right now the Bengals are -6. The sharps, the OddsJam Perfect Line does have some value trending towards the Raiders at +6. It looks like consistently there's some value. So +3.5, there's 10 points, 5 points at +4, 9 at +4.5, 8 at 5, 4 at 6, and then keeps going on. So the fact that the difference in the ticket percentage and the money is always interesting. So basically means that the heavy hitters, the people that spend more money, are putting their money on the Bengals, but it also means that more people in general are betting the Raiders. So my general philosophy is to back the sharps and to fade the public. So this is going to be a situation where if I had to guess, I would probably take the Bengals to cover -6, but doesn't look like there's enough sharp action on there. Again, when there's a differentiation between the money and the OddsJam Perfect Line, I generally take that as a no touch. So now if you want to go to the over-under, do the same thing we did. It looks like as of right now, the over is settled on between 49, 49.5. It looks like, if you sell or buy a couple points towards the over, there's some positive expected value. 8 points at 47, 4 points at 48, just 1 at 49. And then the opposite's true if you buy some points towards the under. So 2 points under 50, 5 under 50.5, 3 at 51. So it doesn't look like there's any as far as positive expected value play here. But if you look at where the money's going, so the over is getting about 76% of the bets, but the money is trending towards the under. This actually has the highest difference between the ticket percentage and the money, which is interesting. So this total opened at 48. It had been bet up to 49.5 where it is now, but now it looks like it's trending towards the under. So my guess here is that the sharps are thinking that the totals are too inflated because of the at least for the first two games I'm looking at, just because of the public likes to bet the over. So they're kind of trending towards the under. Like I said, there's about 24% ticket percentage towards the under, but 88% of the money, which is, as of right now, the largest difference of the week. So this is going to be another play that I'm going to put on the under. Looks like the highest value is on the under is this 5 points here. So I'm going to put another 50 on the under 50.5 for this Raiders-Bengals game. And then moving on. So for my Eagles versus Tampa Bay. So just to preface this, if you can't tell by my background, I am an Eagles fan. So I try to be as subjective as I can and not appear biased. So if you catch a hint of bias in my voice, I apologize. But just to be upfront, the Eagles aren't going to win this game. They're pretty heavy underdogs, as you can see. There is some value on them at plus 340 on FanDuel, but there's more value on the Bucs at minus 380. Obviously, I'm not really touching unless I think the Eagles win straight up, then I'll take their money line. But I'm not touching the Bucs at minus 380. If you look at the total points, the spread, that's what I meant to go to. The Eagles looks like they're hovering between +8 or +8.5, +9.5, depending on where you look. It looks like, as far as difference between the OddsJam Perfect Line, it's generally trending towards the Eagles covering the spread. Not a ton of value, so difference at +7.5, difference at 8.5, difference at 9.5, again at 10, 11 as you go on. And this is an interesting situation where the Eagles covering the spread is actually getting 99% of the money. They're only getting 46% of the ticket percentage, but they're getting 99% of the money. So to me, that screams that there is a play on the Eagles. So I know people are going to think that I'm being biased, but I'm just following the money here. So my guess is that the total as of right now for the spread is about 8.5 is the median. My guess is that it might end up being closer to a touchdown, 7. Based on where the money's going. So I'm actually going to put some money on the Eagles covering. I don't generally like to bet on my heart, but this case, when the sharps line up with where the money's going and the OddsJam Perfect Line, that generally is an agreement. So that's going to be my third play of the game. So now if you want to look at the over-under and see if there's a play there. So it looks like as of right now, the over-under is settling at 49. It looks like it opened at 49.5, so not a ton of change. Just based on the OddsJam Perfect Line, it looks like a slight trend towards the over if you buy a couple points. Looks like the highest is just at 5. And then if you buy a couple points towards the under, it's the same thing. But it looks like there's a little bit more towards the under than as far as the over. Looking at the ticket percentage, so this is an interesting situation where, again, the Eagles are getting 99, or not the Eagles, excuse me. The over is getting 99% of the money. So it's actually has between the Eagles covering and the over 99. Both of these games have the highest percent of all the wildcard games towards that, the Eagles covering and this over 49. Looks like the over is getting 56% of the money, or excuse me, 56% of the tickets, but 99% of the money. Which adds up a little bit if you want to sell a couple points towards the over. To me, that doesn't signify enough of a play since the OddsJam Perfect Line actually trends more towards the under. So either the money is going to end up settling on a little bit or the total might change a little bit. But either way, it doesn't seem like there's a play for me. So the only play on this Eagles-Bucs game is the Eagles covering the spread. Moving on towards the Cowboys and San Francisco. So I was surprised. So it looks like as of right now, the OddsJam Perfect Line has the Cowboys at minus 158 and the 49ers at plus 141. I was actually surprised to see the Cowboys such low underdogs. So it looks like they started at the spread at 3.5. Now it's at 3. And just looking at the money line, minus 150 isn't terrible. I do think that's a good bet. So, the Cowboys had a interesting season where they offense started off just absolutely gangbusters. Dak missed some money missed a game with the calf injury. Their offense kind of struggled. They did put up huge point totals 2 of the last 3 weeks with the one kind of clunker against the Cardinals, but I really just don't trust Jimmy G in a big spot. I think the Cowboys defense should be able to force multiple turnovers. Despite how he ended the game against the Rams, he looked just as terrible starting the game, and the only reason they won is because Matt Stafford is just as giving as Jimmy Garoppolo. So my favorite bet as of right now is the Cowboys money line. My guess is that more money is going to end up going on the Cowboys money line, and that it'll increase a little bit. So right now, the best I got it on, which I put 100 on, was them at minus 150. My guess is that it's going to creep up a little bit, get a little closer to the OddsJam Perfect Line. So I think this will beat closing value. But one thing that's interesting, so like I said, they started at 3.5 point favorites. It settled on about 3. It looks like the majority of the money, the biggest difference between ticket percentage and money is going in favor of the 49ers. So as of right now, 49ers are getting only 39% of the ticket of the bet percentage, but they're getting 99% or 95% of the money. So that's the biggest difference as far as the spread goes. But looking at the OddsJam Perfect Line, it looks like it trends more towards the Cowboys. So a little bit at minus 1, again a little bit at minus 1.5, 5 points at 2.5, and then when you sell a couple points towards the 49ers, it looks like they're getting more of the positive expected value. So to me, I don't really see a play on the spread despite the difference in ticket percentage and money percentage. Just based on the OddsJam Perfect Line, I don't see a play on the spread. So let's look at the total points, see if there's anything there. So it looks like right now it's settled on between 50.5 and 51. No really change from where it started. Looks like this is heavily bet towards the over based on the ticket percentage and the money percentage. And it looks like there is some positive expected value on the over, starting at 48.5. Looks like the highest is on 49 and 49.5. A good amount at 50. 51 has some, 51.5. So consistently trending towards the over. And since both the public money and the money percentage, as far as amount of bets and money percentage, is going towards the over, I'm going to make that one of my plays. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to take this over 50. I didn't quite want to get. Actually, no. I'm going to take the biggest difference. Excuse me, at the over 49.5. I'm going to get that half point. This is going to be another one of my $50 bets. My guess is that this total is going to get bet up a little bit just based on where the money is, and I can see it. The Cowboys' offense, I can see them moving the ball, and I can see them getting enough turnovers on defense where they might have some short fields, and then you can always count on Kyle Shanahan teams to put up some money. Next game, the Chiefs versus Pittsburgh. Obviously, the Chiefs, I think they're the biggest favorite of the week. Right now, their money line, as you can see, is minus 725, the OddsJam Perfect Line, and then Pittsburgh is at plus 537. Looks like there is some positive expected value, but obviously I'm not touching anything that bad. And I certainly don't think the Steelers win. So the spread has settled on Kansas City minus 12.5, minus 13. It looks like the OddsJam Perfect Line is trending mostly towards the Steelers covering, starting at 10.5 and all the way down to 15.5. And if we want to look at where the money is, it looks like the Chiefs are actually getting 95% of the money. And about 49% of the ticket percentage. So to me, that signifies that there's no play on the spread. If I had to guess, I would probably say that Pittsburgh covers, but I don't think that a bet there is going to beat the closing line based on where the money is. So I think this is going to be one that I can wait on and get the Steelers at an even higher spread. The Chiefs offense, I know the Chiefs just smoked them the last time they played, but their offense still doesn't look quite right to me. Tyreek Hill's banged up, and he's incredibly important to them. So I'm going to wait on this, and I'm going to guess that the spread is going to increase in favor of the Chiefs. But I do have one of my favorite plays of the week is on the under, and this is mainly because of the weather. So I always make it a point in December games like this, look at the weather, and this is supposed to be incredibly windy. And just betting on Big Ben games to go under seems like a winning bet. So it looks like as of right now, it's settling on 46.5. It's actually pretty low for a Chiefs game. It does look like, so the over is getting 68% of the tickets, but 71% of the money. So that does, to me, signify that there's a play on the under. If the weather projects to get even worse, I can see that this changing. Looks like the OddsJam Perfect Line, so it trends towards the over if you buy a couple points and towards the under if you sell a couple points. So this won't be one of my big plays, but I do think that this is going to go under. This is actually trending towards the over. So, maybe this is actually end up being a no touch for me, despite the difference between the ticket percentage and the money percentage. The only really positive EV on the under is at 47, and it's only 1 point, and it's 4 points at 48.5, 9 points at 49. But I'm not taking odds as bad as minus 150 on a total. Only really money line bets do I take anything that bad. So, I thought going into this that the under would be one of my big plays, but that's actually going to be a no touch for me. So looking at the last game, the Cardinals Rams. Looks like the OddsJam Perfect Line does show some value on the Rams at minus 180. So the OddsJam Perfect Line has them at minus 195. Rams, you can get them at minus 180. And I do think that's a good bet towards the Rams. So I've struggled with this Cardinals team all year. I have faded them in some pretty big moments. Most notably last week when I made the Seahawks my underdog of the day. The Cardinals, they seem to somehow play better on the road, and it is tough to trust Matt Stafford in a playoff game. So I do think that the Rams win, but the money line is going to end up being a no touch for me. Let's look at the spread and see if there's maybe some better value there. So it looks like it's settled on the Rams minus 4. It opened at 4.5, so it's been bet a little bit down to +4, but nothing crazy. And it does look like the Rams are getting the majority of the money, while the Cardinals are getting the majority of the ticket percentage. Looking at the OddsJam Perfect Line, it does look like there's consistently some value on the Rams, starting at -1.5, -2, -2.5, -3, and then maybe you need to sell a couple points for it to get some value, because where the market currently is, there's no value from 3.5 all the way down to 5. 1 point at 5. So the spread is actually going to end up also being a no touch for me. It's hard for me to get a read on both of these teams, so I'm going to end up just not touching it. I'm not super confident where the value is going to go one way or another for this spread. So now if you want to look at the over-under, looks like it's settled on about 50. It looks like just going over, it looks like there's some value trending towards the under, starting at 48. 2 points at 48, 1 point at 48.5, 4 at 49, a couple looks like 3 at 49.5, 4 at 50, 5 at 50.5, and then it gets even greater the more you sell some points. So another game where the under seems to be trending. But looking at where the money's going, so the over in this game is getting 78% of the ticket percentage and 89% of the money. So despite that, the OddsJam Perfect Line trending towards this game going under, it looks like the money is trending towards it going over. So to me, this another situation where it looks like we can probably wait to get the total even higher. So maybe it'll end at like 40, 51, 52. We can take the under then for even more positive expected value. So this is going to be another one that I'm going to wait on. No play here on this Rams Cardinals game at all. So now let's look at the positive EV page. I have it filtered for just football. Make sure that so it looks like the first half under for the Bengals Raiders, and the under 2 bets I actually already took, so I'm glad about that. The over for the 49ers Cowboys and the under for the Patriots Bills. A little bit on the Bills first half spread, but these are all under 2%. So I'm gonna wait and take some positive expected value bets that are a little bit higher percentage. My guess is that the more money comes in once they start posting player props, more money will come in, and then there'll be some higher positive expected value plays. But as of right now, and like I said, I'll post a screenshot of all these. I have 5 plays. Just to recap, the under 44 on the Bills Patriots, the under 50.5 on the Bengals Raiders, the Eagles plus 9.5 is my only spread one. The Cowboys money line is the only money line I have, and the over 49.5 for the Cowboys San Francisco are going to be my 5 early lines to hop in on. So I'll post a screenshot of these at the end of the video, just so you can have them all on one screen. And that's all I got for you. So make sure to check out the channel in the coming days for actual game analysis. Today, I just wanted to hop on some early lines, see where we can beat closing line, get some value. And I'll monitor this as the week goes on to see if I made the right predictions or not. But that's all I got for you. So make sure to follow me on Twitter at my handle you can see below. You can also email me, Matthew@oddsjam.com. And I also love for you to comment on the video. Let me know your thoughts, what you agreed with, what you disagreed with. And then other than that, just rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Help us grow. But that's all I got for you. So happy betting, happy watching, and good luck.